Good afternoon. I'd like to welcome you to our Microsoft Dynamics CRM 2013 Lunch and Learn series. Today's topic is Go Mobile with the new CRM 2013 mobile client, or Resco. Next slide. So first we're going to cover just a couple of housekeeping notes before we get into the presentation. You are using GoToWebinar to view this presentation today. And all attendees are in listen-only mode. We will be taking questions throughout the presentation and leaving time at the end for questions. To ask a question, and we do encourage your input, to go ahead and enter that question into the question area of your GoToWebinar client. Also, to get more screen space overall, you can hit the button in your GoToWebinar client that is a blue circle with a little square in the middle. And when you hover over it, it is a full screen mode button. So when you click that, you're going to get much more space on the screen for the overall presentation. Next slide. Wanted to make sure that everybody knows as well the upcoming sessions that we have. Obviously today we're at the April 25th, the mobile session. We also have two other ones that are being presented. One's on May 2nd, and that is the CRM 2013 Marketing New Features, Tips, and Tricks. And then also on May 9th is the Ask the Experts Power Hour. So two more great sessions lined up in this series, and we are recording these and we'll make these available on our YouTube channel as well. Just a little bit of background about Beringer Associates for those of you that aren't familiar with us. We've been implementing CRM solutions since 1993. So we have lots of best practice experience in implementing these solutions for businesses across the country. We are a Microsoft Gold certified partner working at the highest levels in terms of partnership with Microsoft. Our focus is around Dynamics CRM and implementing that solution, again, for businesses across the country. We do primarily focus on North American businesses, and we do have clients all over the country. So we are based in New Jersey. If you're not also in the tri-state region here, that's fine. We support clients all over the country. So a few other solutions that we offer, we also have a managed network services practice where we can become the IT department of a small to mid-sized client and manage the IT infrastructure for those clients. Also in that area of our business, we do a lot of IT projects, everything from firewall replacements through infrastructure upgrades. Also do a lot with hosted telephone and voice over IP systems today, kind of synergistic as well to CRM. As there's some integration between a lot of the phone systems and Microsoft CRM for things like ScreenPop. So we also do a lot of work with Microsoft's Lync product. If you haven't taken a look at Lync, we highly recommend that you do. It's a fantastic communication and collaboration platform and just a great solution for communicating today. And then we also do a lot with cloud computing, and today that's predominantly with Microsoft Office 365. And of course, Microsoft Dynamics CRM Online is a cloud-based application as well. So if we can help you in any one of those areas, feel free to reach out to us or to your account manager. We'd love to talk to you further. So I'd like to introduce Brendan Hancock. Brendan is in our Dynamics CRM implementation practice, and he is a project manager with us. And Brendan's going to be leading the session today. So Brendan, I will turn it over to you.
Thank you, Dave. Welcome, everybody, to our weekly seminar. And we're going to be discussing a little bit of in-depth Mocha client and Resco client features today, which are two of the CRM mobile options that we as Beringer Associates offer to our client. Today's agenda, we're going to discuss first Microsoft's mobile CRM offerings, their mobile strategy, the mobile options that they currently have, and the components that are currently in their strategy. Followed by that, we can discuss a little bit about Resco CRM, the interface functionalities of Resco, the capabilities that Resco CRM has in addition to its Woodford tool. Once we're finished with that, we'll move on to an actual demonstration of Microsoft's Mocha client and a demonstration of Resco's client. And then I'm going to dive a little teeny bit into the Woodford tool and also the back end of Mocha's customization forms inside of CRM Online. Following that, we'll be open for questions and answers, and we'll also review the upcoming Lunch and Learn webinars to come. So to begin with, Microsoft's mobile strategy is really addressing the product nature that they have inside of their current ecosystem. Some statistics here for you as to why they needed to move into the mobile environment is that they currently have 93% of the Fortune 1000 companies using Active Directory, 60% of these Fortune 1000 companies are currently using Dynamics, which gives us a total of 5.5 million Dynamics users. And of those 5.5 million Dynamics users, there are now 1 billion Office users, with a quarter of those users on Office 365 platform. 40% of the Windows devices that are sold in America now are touch-enabled devices, which is to say that they're running Windows 8 or 8.1, and they have a full mobile general user interface that people can interact with on a touch-based tile level. In addition to that, 81% of the current chief information officers in the U.S. are using a Windows tablet. So in terms of actual information technology direction, touch is really kind of the new thing, the new environment that we all have to address moving forward. So Microsoft has a couple of different mobile strategy components when it comes to Microsoft's CRM environment. One of the first things that they're going to be addressing in one of their June releases is a project that's currently in beta called Project Sienna. This will allow users to create really dynamic websites that have the capacity to load multimedia, such as video or photos, and basically display those in a touch environment that you would customize in much the same sort of way that you would customize a PowerPoint presentation. In addition to that, one of the most profound aspects that Microsoft has been preparing in order for all people to be able to bring their own device to work is to integrate the System Center 2012 Configuration Manager and Windows Intune. This allows people to use their Androids or their Mac OS X devices or their iOS devices for their, their iPhones or their iPads in order to have a synchronized environment through Exchange and also through some of the CRM functionalities that you see currently emerging. Which brings us to our probably most relevant point with Microsoft Dynamics CRM specifically. There is a Mocha client, which is their mobile application that can be downloaded from your Apple iTunes store, or if you wanted to download it from your Android marketplace or your Windows marketplace, it's available for all different types of devices. As you can see right here, we have an iPhone, a Windows phone, and an Android device that are all mounting the Mocha that we're going to review shortly. And you can download this as a free application from the Windows Store or from the iPhone marketplace as well. In addition to the Mocha environment, we also at Beringer Associates work with a company called Resco. And Resco's CRM interface has some functionalities that are extraordinarily profound in terms of the actual market offerings. They have the ability to visualize dashboards, import and view different types of system views that you have inside of CRM 2013. In addition to this, there's a highly customizable form designer system, which can pretty much put parameters or fields in any sort of order that you would like, and then organize those in your system views as well. This Resco environment also has the ability to be integrated with map views. If you choose to use a map key in order to plug into the Woodford Tool, it can map the different types of contacts or accounts or different types of leads or opportunities that you have associated with address and latitude and longitude information. And then one of the other profound tools is the iframes functionality inside of Resco. Offline HTML can be inserted into the Resco platform using customized iframes that can point information such as like this bicycle picture that you see right here to an offline location. Resco has a lot of different capabilities that make it, as I mentioned, fairly profound. In addition to having an online and an offline mode and maps, Resco also has security built into it so that you can lock or wipe mobile user devices, which is valuable for organizations that might have sensitive information that needs to be secured or locked down from a mobile platform. In addition to this, as I mentioned, it has offline capabilities and also the ability to insert multimedia directly into the forms that you have. So in our demonstration, which I'm about to go through, I'm going to show you folks how you can insert, for example, a signature directly into a form. Last but not least, I'll kind of cover the Woodford Tool in depth so that we can understand a little bit more about how this functionality gives you a mirrored version of the back end of CRM 2013. In addition, the Woodford Tool can also be customized to work with CRM 2011. So this particular version of Woodford will allow you to use legacy CRM versions in addition to CRM 2013. The Mocha client is currently only available for CRM 2013. So I'm going to move into our demonstrations right now. The first thing that I'd like to take a look at is the Mocha client. And you'll notice, of course, that it's synchronizing as we move in right now because it does require online capabilities to synchronize to the database that it's going to be pointed at. This right here is your home page, which is a landing of the various types of lists and dashboards that you have on your default lists and dashboards pages inside of CRM. You can see right here at a glance the different activities that I have, open opportunities, open leads, active accounts. In addition to the dashboards, which I put onto the home page as well. In this case, this is a view of the open opportunities and a view of the closed opportunities. You can navigate directly into these if you wanted to see the views and the dashboards side by side. So you have a very nice view of things that are currently going on inside your organization with regards to the records that you're working with. And these can be customized with any types of dashboards that you have inside the system as well. Here on the left panel of Mocha, you'll see a list of all of the different types of entities that you can put into CRM. The limitation to this online is that you have the ability to put 10 total entities onto this record, which is the maximum that the Mocha client will currently permit you to use. I'm going to navigate into the leads records right here so we can kind of take a look at what an individual record looks like inside of the Mocha environment. What you can currently see is the forms that are designed inside of CRM's customization tool. And this is a static list of the different types of fields that you have inside the system. This summary right here can be organized in essentially a top-to-bottom manner and scrolled down into if you wanted to drill into the specific fields that you have. Inside of the Mocha client, you can put up to 60 fields on your forms for any given entity. And that will allow you to have not a complete view of the total number of fields that you have inside of CRM, but still it will give you a pretty profound way to interact with your organization information on the mobile fly. In addition to this, you can see related types of activities and related records that are associated to a lead. You can see right here that we have the open activities that are going to be working on this particular lead, the notes that we've associated with it. And if we drilled in into the further information, we could also put in a detail slide right here to throw in more fields and capture information on the fly. Here at the furthest left, I wanted to also kind of show an example of how you can see the different types of relationships that exist inside of the Mocha client. Right here, there are relationships between activities and leads so that you can generate or populate and see activities directly off of it. And you can also see the types of owners relationships that are existing inside the system so that you can see these little tiles that are cascading on the left side here, the different types of users or owners that could be associated to a record. Another point to be kind of emphasized inside of the Mocha client is that up in the top right-hand corner, you can see that there's the business process bar. This business process bar is visually displayed as you cascade through the different types of stages that are inside of it. And this will allow your organization to have specific fields that are addressed and captured in order to move through a staged approach through CRM 2013. This business process bar is something that we'd actually presented a few weeks back, and you can see on our YouTube site if you want to take a look at more in depth how those are customized inside of CRM. All right, I'm going to navigate back to the home page right here so you can kind of take a look at this right. And then we're going to move on to kind of show you the differences between this version of the mobile client and the Resco client. This is the Resco client, and as you can kind of see, it has the ability to populate lots of the same information that you see inside of the Mocha. You have, of course, the ability to granularly look into the different types of opportunities that you're looking at. But what you'll see first and foremost with Resco is that once you actually click on any of this information, you can navigate through it in many different types of ways. In addition, one of the first things you'll notice about Resco is that there's this button right here on the mobile CRM platform that will allow you to toggle between online and offline mode so that you can synchronize information and records that you create while you're offline the second that you're back online. This is one of the major selling features behind Resco because the Mocha client doesn't have the ability to function in an offline environment. But with Resco, all you have to do is click two buttons and synchronize all of the information, and it creates a local database copy on whatever mobile device that you're currently working on. This allows you to access the information whether or not you have an internet connection. I mentioned also Resco has mapping capabilities built directly into it so that you can navigate to a particular account or a particular slide that you have to be working with. And one of the more profound features that are inside Resco is the ability to work with different types of system views. These can be imported directly through the Woodford client so that you don't have to recreate a whole bunch of different types of views inside of CRM's Woodford tool. They can be brought in directly from the existing system views that you've created on your CRM customization tool. So right here I can navigate between, for example, my active accounts or accounts that haven't had any orders in the last 6 months. And I can also toggle it back and forth between map views of these different types of things as well, as you can see right here on the list and account level. I'm going to navigate to opportunities now so I can show you how Resco's also kind of worked and dealt with the different types of process bars that you have inside of CRM. Instead of having the bars cascading from the top right-hand corner, Resco's added this as a type of list view functionality, where you can work specifically with these different types of these stages that we have in the business process, and it will show you visually right here as an actual list. Now, one of the things that's also extraordinarily interesting about the Resco client is that unrelated records or unrelated entities can also be recorded on individual entities. So for example, invoices have no relationship inside of CRM 2013 to opportunities, but I'm able to, if I wish to create and relate these different types of records, such as invoices, to an opportunity record, which allows me to have a little bit more versatility in the way that I might want to deal with any types of records in general. In addition to that, I mentioned that Resco has the ability to capture multimedia. This is an example of just one type of multimedia that can be captured, a signature. As we can see, I can have basically touched or handwritten directly into my device, whether I'm using, a touchscreen on an iPhone or whether I'm using a Windows device as I currently am. I can capture an actual piece of signature information for a contract, for example, or for a lead or for an opportunity that I might have out. But it's not really just limited to the ability to capture signatures. You can also capture audio, for example, or a picture image if you wanted to capture a picture image. And those can be saved onto the actual records inside of CRM 2013 and synchronized back to your database so that you can see that picture in an online environment via the web CRM. Naturally, other things like activities can be generated and saved as well. And they function in much the same way that you would see inside of CRM's online environment. And of course, if you happen to be offline and you are finished with all of this, it's simply just a matter of clicking the synchronization button here and pushing all that information back up to CRM. So moving back on to basically another component within this demonstration that we were going to have, I wanted to kind of show you folks the Woodford tool just a little tiny bit and emphasize how the security with it inside of it works so that you can have a little bit more locked down control of your organization. This is the Woodford tool, and at first glance it feels like a pretty simple system to use. You can insert new mobile projects directly into the Woodford tool, which will allow you to create simultaneously a test environment and a production environment, or a development and a production environment, as we call it in the CRM implementation world. In addition, you have security functionality. And this is at the device level so that you can actually see the different types of devices that are logging in. It will show you when the most recent synchronizations are. And you can either lock these devices or wipe them or force a full synchronization of the device every single time somebody logs into your system. Now, I'm not going to get extraordinarily in-depth into how to customize mobile projects for the system, but I did want to take a look at the back end of Woodford right now with everybody that's here, so that you can see how it kind of functions as a mirror to CRM's backend 2013 online or 2011 environment. Those of you that have actually played with the customization tool inside of CRM would probably recognize this very quickly. you'll see a list of all of the dashboards, social branding, auditing, and images, all of the configurations that you would really kind of see just inside of your CRM backend environment. And if you were to look at the individual entities that you can work with, you can see that there's everything that you have more or less mirrored from CRM 2011 or 2013. In addition to the actual entities themselves, there are forms in much the same way that there are forms in CRM. There are views, and as I mentioned, these views can be imported directly from your system so that you don't have to go about creating specialized views for the rest of the system. In addition to that, you also have just standard charts and fields. With this kind of profound customization tool, you can enable every field inside of CRM that can possibly be put into it. And you can also enable every entity that's inside of CRM. This has a little bit more versatility, of course, than the Mocha application, in the sense just that it has, obviously 10 limited leads and 60 limited fields that you could use. With Resco, really the sky's the limit. So if you wanted to take a look at this more in depth, these are free to download. Resco's trial environment can be downloaded for free off of their website at resco.net. And also the Woodford Tool, if you wanted to play around with the trial environment, as we're kind of looking at here, can also be downloaded for free as well. I wanted to take one just quick look at how this varies and how this differentiates itself from how the Mocha client is customized by navigating directly to the website itself. Mocha is customized through the customization tool inside of CRM. And when you're actually dealing with how to work with that, this is done on an entity-to-entity level as well. So I'm going to look at the same entity here, the account. And if you wanted to basically make this available for online environments, you just have to make sure that it's checked, marked here for CRM for phones or CRM for tablets. And that will enable you to actually view these things in mobile environments, such as Mocha. And then once you've actually gone ahead and enabled whatever entity you want to look at, there's a very specific form that can be customized as well, known as your mobile information form. And this mobile information form can take these fields and list them in any order that you want. But as I mentioned, they can't really be placed all around a customizable environment, for example, in your system views. But if you wanted to, you could just add everything that you wanted to, save this, close it, and publish it. So I'll navigate just back to the Resco environment right here. Resynchronize that information there. And then I'll navigate back to Mocha right here and resynchronize this information right here. And we can see I have all of these new fields that have populated onto the actual forms once I've done this. So that kind of takes us through a tour of the two different types of environments that Beringer Associates works with regards to mobile customizations and platforms. And hopefully that gives everybody a good consensus of the different types of functionalities that are available for CRM Mobile, which is, of course, a huge component of our 2014 roadmap. I'd like to open this up to any types of questions that anybody might have at this point in time so that we could hopefully address any concerns that anybody might have.
Brendan, one of the questions that was posted was what mobile devices each of these platforms supports?
At the moment, it's smartphones that are available inside of the Android ecosystem, the iOS iPhone ecosystem. So that would include both iPads and iPhones, and all Apple devices, and then also the Windows mobile environments as well. So this is available for essentially 8.1 Surface devices, Windows 8 devices, and all Windows Phone devices as well. And these are both available to both. Resco is available to all three platforms, and Mocha is available to all three platforms as well.
And I believe that BlackBerry is not supported on Microsoft's mobile solution, but I believe that Resco may have an HTML5 type client for BlackBerry. Is that true?
I think that that's true. I could follow up directly with the folks over at Resco, but I'm pretty sure that they didn't plan on having at least forward mapping for doing any type of BlackBerry development, although there might be a very simplified version of it. It doesn't look or act or behave anything like the client that we just demonstrated right now, though.
Great. One other question is that, and actually Resco is on with us, and they indicate there is no support for BlackBerry. So I don't know that all that many folks that are still using BlackBerry in the market. However, I think there still are some folks that are tied to BlackBerries out there. So if that's the case and you're interested, just let us know, and we'll look for a solution for that, or try and show you the value of getting on a Microsoft device.
Absolutely.
One of the other questions that was posted was regarding costs for each solution. So I wanted to make it clear that the Microsoft mobile client is inherent and built into Microsoft Dynamics CRM 2013, both the online and the on-premise. So it's not something that you pay extra for. Resco is a third-party application, and there is a per-user charge, although Resco offers a free version that you can download right from your App Store as well. If you do want to customize and configure Resco, then you would need the paid version of the application, and contact us. We can give you some pricing. There are definitely some big differences in the two. One of the ones being that Resco offers a full offline mode to their solution. So if your users are in an area where they have no connectivity, no Wi-Fi, no 3 or 4G, they'll still be able to use Resco just like they were connected. It's just working in an offline fashion. The Microsoft solution that's built in does not have an offline function. There is some caching of data. So if you're offline, you might be able to pull up a couple records that you have accessed recently, but it's not an offline solution. So that's a big difference. There are definitely some other differences that we could go over with you on a one-on-one as well. So if you'd like to talk about that further, feel free to reach out to us, and thanks for the question.
Absolutely.
So I think that's the end of our questions, Brennan. Thank you for presenting today and the great information that you presented. If anybody would like further information, feel free to reach out to us. We can be reached at beringer.net or by phone at 800-796-4854. With that, we'll conclude today's session. Oh, you wanted to cover the upcoming schedule.
I just wanted to, of course, to invite everybody out to the upcoming schedules that we still have. We're going to be doing on May 2nd, or at the same time, Fridays at noon, Dynamics CRM 2013 marketing features, new tips and tricks. And then we'll be having our Power Hour with our entire panel, which includes our lead developer, Rob Hess, one of our other developers, Mitch, Jonathan Case-Mammy, and myself will all be answering questions for anybody on May 9th. So thank you, everyone, for your time. We do appreciate you coming, and have a great weekend.
Great. Thank you, Brendan. That will conclude today's session. Please join us on the upcoming webinar sessions that we have on screen. Thanks again, and have a great weekend.